A lot to get through. Welcome, everybody, to this panel on resilience. Okay, I'm delighted to have Miriam Pollack, waves, and Ray Shagalov with me tonight. Two wonderful women who I have a great zchut to work with. Okay, um, and okay, I'll spotlight. Okay, you want me to spotlight? Okay. I'll ask everybody to mute themselves, please, and tell you how excited I am. I think that this is something that we as Jewish women and people all over the world always need to be resilient. And it's a muscle that certainly in Israel we've had to flex so much over the past 2 years. And then came the Iranian war, and we were in and out of shelters, and we were working hard on that. But, especially now, just before Rosh Hashanah, we've all got the Chagim coming up. And I think that it's important for us to fortify ourselves very deeply. And importantly, it's a time, Rosh Hashanah is a time of reflection, renewal. We set the tone for the year ahead of us. And so when we talk about resilience, we're talking about preparing ourselves for whatever may come our way, whether they're joys, challenges, or just the unexpected. And we want to approach these with both strength, balance, and please God, good hope, and good things are going to come out of it. So I have Ray and Miriam here tonight, and each of us everybody's got amazing experiences in life. And I think that if I asked any of you here if you've been through challenges, the answer would be yes. And thank God you're all here because you all have a level of resilience and abilities, and you have inner resources. And each of us, in a different way, would like to call to show you or advise you or guide you into using those inner resources. If you would like, I would recommend that you bring some paper, pencils, colors, whatever, because it's going to be a little bit interactive tonight. So if you've got papers, a piece of paper, pencil, pen, colors, whatever, that would be really good. And Emir Sashem, tonight you're going to have a great experience in this jam-packed event, and you're going to leave with not only ideas, but a sense of encouragement and renewed strength to carry on with our new year. Okay. Now, I run panels every 6 weeks or so, and please feel free to drop me a line below, okay, in the chat, and tell me if there are certain topics you'd like me to address. Because what I do during these ballot panels is bring people in from different disciplines to discuss the same topic. So tonight, you're going to hear about crystals, you're going to hear about energy work, and you're going to hear about art and mentoring and so many different things, all helping with resilience. So we take this one issue and attack it from many sides. And in Mir Hashem, you're going to come out from this really enriched. Okay, I'm going to ask Miriam to begin tonight. Okay, no?
Why don't you introduce yourself, May, as well? You're
I'm going to, Miriam, don't worry. Don't worry. I'll
hold on. Okay,
introduce
no
myself
problem,
when I
no
come.
problem.
What we're going to do, I'll tell you, each of us are going to tell you talk a little bit. We're going to introduce ourselves, and then we all have very special offers that we're going to come back and tell you about. Okay? So I'm going to call on Miriam to introduce herself and discuss resilience from an energetic perspective, and from a NLP perspective, and all the wonderful things she has. Okay, Miriam.
Thank you. So first off, to all of you ladies that I know, hi, how are you? I'm so happy you're here, and I'm so terrified because it's the first time I'm doing it. So having you smile at me, Liba, is very important. Thank you all for joining us and for taking time out of what must be a super busy week. Erev Yom Tov, if you're young, you have children home from school, whatever it is, thank you. Now, my name is Miriam Pollock Schwartz. For those of you who know me, most people know me as Miriam Pollock. The topic is resilient. So the truth is, I wanted to come in here and introduce yourself and tell you all about my degrees and what I've done, but I changed my mind. I'm going to tell you this. I'm a master practitioner of NLP, and I'm a practitioner of energy work. But that's not what makes me so qualified to talk about resilience. It's actually my story. I was born and raised in South America, in Uruguay. I'm one of 13. I was born in a Hasidic home. Very few Hasidic people living there, grew up very Hasidic in a Spanish speaking country. At 17, I was married. I came to America, sorry, in eighth grade to high school, culture shock. I was married at 17, divorced at 21 with twins, remarried at 28, widowed at 35, remarried at 45, and here I am telling you my story. So I got the NLP through all of this and through energy. So when we get to work, you'll understand why I'm saying it's resilient and how I got to be the one sitting here all excited to talk to you when I'm talking about so much trauma. So I'll hand it back now to Gila. And when we come back, I'll let you all know how we get to this.
No, no, continue. No, Miriam,
Are
continue
you sure?
through
Okay.
our presentation. Okay,
So
you're
you want me to go straight along? Okay, that's
absolutely.
fantastic. Fantastic. Great. Okay. So let me break it down now a little bit more. I grew up in South America. My mom was American. Oh, the entire community there was Holocaust surviving people. So my mother was very different. As a child, full disclosure, I had huge humiliation. I just didn't understand that the shame should be on the people of the community instead of us feeling embarrassed that our mother was different. There was nothing wrong with her. She was college educated, she was religious, she was Erlich, she was amazing. In that community, she was different. So as children, we grew up a bit traumatized feeling that our mom was different. And then we came to America to high school, which was in itself a total different shock. I came from a place where I was the most religious family. Uruguay. Thank you. Thank you. I'm from Montevideo, Uruguay. Um, I came to America, had a culture shock because the family I grew up with, my father was the third most religious person. There was the Rav, the Shoichet, and my father. So coming to America and being told things that I'm not from enough was very, very traumatizing for me. And truth be told, and I don't want to represent anyone or any community. I'm speaking of my story. I don't want to trash talk anyone. The way they handled certain things like covering up over a bathing suit in the camp I went to was traumatizing. I wasn't exposed to that before. But I'm going to move on to the survival. And then I got married at 17, had twin daughters at 18, got divorced at 21. We'll skip all the details, traumatizing experience being married. And then I was from 21 to 28 all over the place. I'm not proud of what I've done, but the reason I'm sharing it with you is because just to show you where we can end up. I did a lot of stupid things, hung out with the wrong people, did everything that you should not do. But the one thing I never, ever, 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 ever falter, besides for Shabbos kosher, certain thing, is the love for my children. My children never doubted if I'm home, if I love them, if I'm there, no matter how bad things are. There was Shabbosim, I didn't have food. I gave them cereal and milk, but they never doubted. We were happy, we were joyful, we were loved. It was so exciting. And then I got married at 28, blissfully married. I thought, oh my God, this is the jackpot. That's it. Sadly, I was 28 at 35, I was widowed. He got diagnosed June 12th, died August 20, June 12th to August 28th. Yeah. And it was over. I had twins, 12-year-old and a 3-year-old little girl. Now at this point, I'm living in Eretz Yisrael. He has children from a first marriage in Eretz Yisrael. So we're living in Eretz Yisrael. I need to come back. I moved back to America with 3 children. Horrified. I lost my best friend, my husband. I was broke. I was everything less, husbandless, jobless, penniless, everything less, less, less. Finally, I found a place. I'm going to move into Ocean Parkway, and my truck was parked at night in front of the house to unpack the next morning, and it was stolen. So at this point, I have nothing left. But for some reason, here I am standing and laughing. It was hard. But the thought that I was alone with my girls at home, and this is where the resilience comes in, and I'm going to jump ahead and come back. If we can stop at every trauma, and I'm telling you this now because this was really a bad morning for me. It's 9 in the morning. I'm taking my kids to school. In our Discover, they robbed me. And I turned on the radio, the Jewish radio, and it was singing Anachnu Maminim B'nei Maminim, which was definitely meant for me that morning, no doubt. And I remember my kid sitting in the back going, by the way, they're 38 now, saying, oh my God, mom lost it. This time she snapped. She's still singing. And I remember thinking, thank you, Hashem, for giving me this minute to pause and be able to say thank you. Imagine if I would have gone down on my children. We were all females. There was no guys in my house. What could have happened? The alternative of trying to save my materialistic things could have been horrifying. So the fact that Hashem gave me that, this is how I got into energy eventually, to pause and to think and to say, you know what? Not to pacify myself, but it could have been much worse. So I'll take this. Thank you, Hashem. Thank you for what you gave me. Thank you for what you did. And fine. Moved in, settled in, started making money, married off my two children, had one baby girl left. And now my identity became my parents. I took care of two senior parents, even though I'm one of 13, my three daughters, and my business. We're going to jump ahead. I got remarried at 45. We jump ahead to COVID. And from Erev Pesach till Hanukkah, I fractured my spine on Erev Pesach. Both my parents were terminally ill. They were dying. I couldn't go see them at this point because I was in the emergency room. My daughter had a baby that wasn't 12, but we were going on. Erev Shavuos, my mother died. 3 weeks later, my grandbaby, who was 11 weeks old, passed away, and I had to be there for my daughter with 5. This was her 6th baby. So there was kids to talk to explain. 6 months later, things started feeling like I'm getting back to myself. My baby girl, my pocketbook, got engaged. She moved and she comes and let me know the guy she's dating is going to propose. They're moving to Florida. And I'm like, oh my God, my father died. My mother died. My baby's moving away. And like my business was closed down because of COVID. I used to work with seniors. So now I'm waiting for my business to reopen while everyone is dying and moving. My daughter gets engaged. Thank you, Hashem. It's a huge moment in my life. So much gratitude. I cannot explain to you. She was 3 when her father died, that we made it to this moment. And then she got engaged Sunday, and that Thursday, my father dies. So now I'm back in Shiva. By the Shloshim, I get COVID. I almost die. End up in a hospital, come home, I'm fine. I recover from COVID, and my husband's best friend dies on Thursday night, and his brother dies on Friday night. And when he finishes Shloshim, I have to walk down my daughter to a wedding that both of us just at Shiva and had a really intense year. And I will tell you, it was not easy, but I'll share with you all her video if you want the 3-minute video, because the moment I stopped and I did meditation, that was when I introduced the NLP and to energy during that period of time. So the good news is I was able to focus on healing while going through something so intense. And I did my NLP together with my youngest daughter and learned how to tap in to this, what we're talking about, the resilience. Guys, I am sure a lot of you are sitting there going, oh my God, I could have never done that. Oh my God, no way. I was you. I remember when my friend's husband passed away a year before mine. I remember saying it. My husband dies, I can never move on. It's 22 years. I'm sitting here and I'm telling you that as sad as it sounds to you, oh my God, she moved on. No, life is fantastic. Life is great. If Hashem wanted me, he would have taken me. He didn't take me. He took him. So I have to learn my lessons from letting him go. So the way I survived, the way I overcame, the way I've become the woman that I've become, because I'm not going to be humble for a second. I'm very proud to tell you that I've overcome. I forgot to mention, because this is like embarrassing, but between my late husband and my husband now, I was in an abusive relationship. I had to run in pajamas on the street with my child for my life. So at this point, I did forget to mention something cool because I see your face, Gitty. At 39, I was single, married, divorced, mother, grandmother, all before the age I hit 39. So I have 17-year-old grandchildren. So with all of the hardships I'm telling you, Liba can tell you, Gila can tell you, I have such beautiful nachas today, really beautiful nachas today. And it all comes back to this where we're addressing to now is the resilience. So now I can give you a couple of tips, because for me, what happened to me is everything that defined me, my entire identity, a daughter, a mother, a career woman, suddenly was gone. It wasn't it shifted. It was pulled out from under my feet and I wasn't even falling. I was like floating. I didn't belong anywhere. And yet, here I am, in very humbly and with much gratitude to Hashem, because it took a lot of work. I can tell you I'm whole, I'm complete, I'm not broken. I have never been disconnected to Hashem and to his light and to his love and to all these positive things. The more challenges he sent me, the closer I got. Now, here's a couple of tricks that I can teach you, which helped me overcome. I don't want to talk long, but whoever's interested in continuing, Gila will send everyone's information soon. So I do NLP and energy together for clients together with hypnotherapy. So what I want to leave you off with, ladies, for resilience, not to take up too much time, there's three things that are so easy. And if you want to write them down, or I'll text them later to everyone, neuro linguistic programming. Kaya, neuro-linguistic programming is short. Neuro-linguistic programming. The way we work is we rearrange the thought process, the words. The way it typically works is you see something. Let's say if you're scared of dogs, you'll see a dog, you'll have a visual, and you'll have fear. And we change that around. And when you see the dog, the visual is not fear, but it can be, oh, cute puppy. And it really works. From there, I will go to energy. I do a lot of, I'm an energy practitioner. I love energy. Okay. I'll post my number here in a minute, or Gila's gonna do it. Um, NLP helped me shift a lot and heal a lot. But the final overall healing for me came from energy. I'll answer you all the
One
questions
sec,
when I'm done because we each one have
Miriam, I
10
want to
minutes.
suggest that you don't look at the chat now.
I just said that. I'm
Afterwards,
not.
that's it. Just
I'll
let's keep on
reply
going.
later. I'll
We
reply.
want to hear your tips, Miriam. You've got great things to tell us.
Yes, you'll reply later. Okay, three things. When you feel stuck, and I'm sure you all experience it, you'll walk into the kitchen to make Shabbos, so you wanted, and you just literally sit down and you're like, I just can't move. I'm stuck. I'm done. Focus on your body. Sit up taller. Take a deep breath. Shift the position. Put your hand on your heart. Even a small gesture of kindness to yourself. I know it sounds so unreal, but when you feel stuck, notice your body. Feel where it feels the heaviness. Sit up taller. Breathe deeply. Put your hands on your heart. Even a small shift in your posture and your breathing will open a door of hope. And the reason I'm using the word hope is because when you're overwhelmed, there's no way I can tell you a trick that's going to heal you. But I can give you a trick that's going to open hope. You can open to breathe. You can open to move on. Number two, anchor yourself. And that's with energy as well. Imagine surrounding yourself in a bubble of light. Fill it with whatever color you need. Feel yourself. This is where gemstones come in. Whatever color you feel, put it inside. Strength, joy, all the positive things, and almost visualize yourself. I'm sure you can all close your eyes and have a visual of putting yourself in a crystal ball with all these colors. I know it sounds easy, and so it sounds simple, but it really, really does work. The third one is to reframe
One
your
second, I
mindset.
want to just
Yes,
understand. We're just going to place ourselves in a bubble of light, a
with
bubble of
lights.
color.
What I do for me is I always visualize a clear bubble. You know the bubbles that you blow because it
Mhm.
already has colors inside, all the beautiful colors. And I place myself within. It's also see-through, so the light of Hashem can shine onto you. And wherever you are, place yourself in your kitchen, near the window. Feel the light. And if you close your eyes and you do it, you will literally feel the light because pause, go within, visualize yourself in a bubble, and anywhere you want, just feel light coming onto you. They're unbelievable simple tricks. Reframe, to reframe is instead of asking, like whenever we have a problem, the first thing we ask is why me? I'd rather go why now or what now? Okay, it happened. What now? Every pain carries a seed of growth, connection, and compassion for others. If you go back and you think of everything that happened to you, every pain, there was a seed of something positive. The question is, did you see it or did you miss it? But it's always there and it always works. Stop, pause, find that seed and focus on that and have it grow and shine and become something much bigger. And the next two things that I can tell you really, really fast that works. If we don't do anything, do this. You know, ladies, when we get up in the morning, the first thing we do is we grab our phones. 99.9%. I know there's some that don't. Personally, it is the worst thing that you do. You pick up a thing that is full of energies, not yours. Whatever happened on Instagram, Facebook, news, all the outside sources, all the outside noise, all is in your hand before you welcome yourself. So if you stop, you close your eyes and do a 1 minute visualization. Before you open your eyes, before you touch your phone, place your hands gently on your heart, take a deep breath, let it out slowly, and feel your heartbeat. Feel your soul, feel your heartbeat, feel your connection, and then create yourself with your. I can read it to you if you want, or you can do your own. But if you want, we can do one really fast. If you close your eyes, 60 seconds, take a deep breath, and before you touch your phone, place your hands gently on your heart. Take a deep breath in, and then let it out slowly, and feel your heartbeat. That's right, your soul. Your soul is going to say to you, I'm alive. I'm here for a purpose. With your eyes still closed, imagine yourself at the end of the day. You're walking back into your room, smiling. It was an amazing day. You handled the challenges with strength and courage. You laughed, you connected, you grew. Even in the difficulties, they were easier to overcome because you carried this inner calm. Take a deep breath, fill yourself with the success. Fill yourself with the success of the day and then just start your day. Then you do the same at night. What happens when you do this before you go out of bed is when you come out of bed, when you go back into bed, those are the last feelings and emotions that you felt there. So what happens is when you go back into bed, guess what happens? You're like, oh, I had a great day. Whatever happens, you'll go back to those feelings and emotions. And you can do the same thing at night. Close your eyes, put down your phones. Don't have your phones the last thing on your hands. Put down your phones and just breathe and give yourself a visualization. This is all through energy work. Energy work is a lot of visualization. Visualize yourself in the morning having a restful sleep. You had REM sleep. You had Baruch Hashem, you woke up, you're healthy. Everyone in your home woke up. And if you keep on doing this for 21 days, morning meditations and night visualizations, in night visualizations, I am very confident that your days and your nights will be different without anything major happening.
Amazing.
I will stop now. I will give it back to Gila. If you have any questions, we'll post later. Everything that I missed because I was trying to catch up.
Okay, you're
Thank you all.
welcome. Thank you, Miriam. Wow, that was jam-packed and you had some great things. And I want to just, you've given us some important tips. And when we discussed, when we met before, you talked about that visualization. So Friday morning, I really sat in my bed and I visualized, and it really made a difference to my day. So I'm encouraging everybody to try that. The other thing I want to comment, Miriam said, put your hands like this, okay? And put your hands like this. And in my studies, I study in a midrashah, a women's, and we're told that when you daven, if you're using a siddur, you can't, you're holding your siddur, but if you're able, you put your hands like this and look down. Okay, we always think, I think, like this. No. So it all connects. It's like whatever we're doing is a tefillah, a prayer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Thank you, Miriam. That was
Can I
amazing.
say one thing? Can I piggyback off you? By the way, I want to emphasize something Gila said. When you are having a panic attack, when you're in a bad mood, when you are sad, do not look down, look up, because here is your neshama, here is your heart. This is for emotion. You cannot be happy, like when you cannot be sad or depressed when you look up. It's the light of Hashem. When you daven, when you speak to Hashem, find your heart, connect, but otherwise look up to Him.
Thank you. Okay. I put everybody in a very tight framework here because I know that time is precious to everybody. So I like to ask Ray, and I have to tell you, Ray and I go back a long way, a long time that we've been together. I've been in her passion passion projects group for years now. And I even had this hood. I managed to visit her. I managed to visit Miriam. Miriam studied by me. It's amazing how things happen. And this is something that Hashem opened, because if we wouldn't have gone through COVID and we wouldn't have gone through all these Zoom experiences, I would not know Miriam, I would not know Ray, and we wouldn't have had this relationship, and we wouldn't have the opportunity to present to you together today. So Ray, please take it away.
Thank you so much, Gila and Miriam. That was really amazing. Um, when Gila first asked me to be part of this panel on resilience, I thought, why is she asking me to be on a panel on resilience? I'm not a therapist. I'm not a trauma specialist. I don't live in Israel because I consider everybody who lives in Israel a specialist in resilience. But as I thought about it, I thought, oh my gosh, everything we do in our Passion Projects Mastermind, every week we're working on resilience. And she's right. So I'm a writer, I'm an artist, and the founder of the Passion Projects Mastermind for Jewish Women and Lamplighter Circle, where we work on bringing our ideas, our passion projects out into the world and the incredible personal and spiritual growth that goes along with that. And I'm actually going to share a presentation. Do I have yeah, okay, good. Permission to share. We're going to do a little bit of art journaling. I've published, Baruch Hashem, many, many, many books, and they're all basically one form of a journal or not, or coloring books, something that helps you tap into your creativity, because that's my specialty, is coaching and mentoring women to develop their creativity and bring their creative projects to fruition. So I'm going to share screen and gather your journaling supplies, whatever you've got handy. Okay, let me go full screen. Good. And I'm just going to make a little bridge here. This beautiful exercise that Miriam had us do with the heart. I learned from Ozzy Jankovic in Israel, just this beautiful, simple little meditation I just put this on as Miriam was speaking to make this bridge. She said, just put your hand on your heart and say, I am safe, right? It's very transformational. Right away helps to put you in a calm, in a calm, resilient space. All right. So when I first started the mastermind, and Gila was a founding member, we're 4.5 years ago, Baruch Hashem. Dobra is here. She was a founding member, and I know we have some passionistas. I noticed who are here today. That's what we call ourselves, passionistas. And when we first started, I asked Hashem um, for a new form of time management for Jewish women, because the existing ones, like for corporate or for just regular types of things, they don't work for us because we lead impossible lives. And if you think about it, people are just struggling to get by, and many people are struggling to get by, or just to get through the day. But in addition to getting through our day and getting through happily, we have the mitzvahs, we have all of our prayers, we have Shabbos every week, we have sometimes large families, multi-generations, we are often working. It's just, we lead impossible lives. How do we fit all that in? So I asked Hashem to give us a new form of time management. And Baruch Hashem, over a few months, developed it into what I call the FARM framework. And it's really a pathway to resilience. So I wanted to introduce this, and then we'll kind of move into making it very practical in our lives with a little bit of art journaling, and then what I call the 1 minute miracle meditation. Okay, so the
Hey,
faith.
we've got 10 minutes. I think we filled up a whole evening of wonderful things for everybody.
We're gonna, Meretz Hashem, we're gonna do this. All right, so the FARM framework stands for faith, alignment, reality, and mindset. And reality splits into the underlying spiritual reality that we learn through Hasidus and the nuts and bolts of reality, like how do I cook, what's my Rosh Hashanah menu going to be, right? So when we start with faith, always we start by reconnecting to Hashem, reconnecting to the Rebbe or Tzaddikim, or and reconnecting to the higher level above the system, right? Because we don't want to get stuck in the reality of this world. We want to always transcend the reality and merge the spiritual with the physical. That's our job here in the world. And we do this through praying, through meditating, through trust in, B'tachim, which is an active trust in God. And then alignment, we want to align with, make sure we're aligning with Torah and mitzvahs, with our personal values, and with our mission, right? And the reality, when we jump into life, right? And we have to have the physical tools. How do we organize? What skills do we need? What systems can we set up? And what can we delegate so that we don't have to do it all of ourselves? And then mindset pops in, right? There's always this chatter, this inner chatter. And very often it's negative chatter. So we're going to work with that today. If we use this framework and remember when we get into a mindset that's not serving us and not helping us be resilient, it usually pops us back to faith and alignment, realigning through prayer, through meditation, through learning Torah, and through realigning with our own soul, right? And then what's very, very important is connecting to mentors, accountability partners, and your community, whoever your community is, right? Because it's the people around us, the people who help us get through the tough times or get through our own lack of faith in ourselves, right? It's very, very important to stay connected to the friends, the family, the colleagues that support us. Okay. All right. So this world is Hashem's passion project. I have the great privilege of davening in Rabbi Ruvain Wolf's shul, and maybe some of you have heard of him. Um, uh, Gives talks all around the world, and he told us this Shabbos. I've heard this before. Our souls volunteered to come into this world. This world is Hashem's passion project. He had this great idea, if we can say that, to merge, to create a world that is so dark that that people in this world could even imagine that there's no God. And we, the Jewish people, are sent here to merge the physical and the spiritual and fill the darkness with light and make it so strong that God can dwell here with us in this world. So that's not easy, right? And part of our resilience is understanding we may have we all have individual missions with the people that, wherever we are in the world, the people that we're serving, our family, and whatever talents and strengths that we have. But we all are part of this universal mission of filling this world with light. And as you know, it's not easy, right? So there is a concept called the messy, murky middle, right? And we at the beginning of any project, we're very excited. We see only the potential, all the possibilities, and then we go for it, and boom, we start. Whoa, what did I get myself into? What's happening here? And then we fall. And then we get up and we rise again. And the important thing to notice here is that we're constantly ascending, so that even when we're falling at a higher level than we were before, right? That's the important thing to remember. All right, so gather your journaling supplies. This is very simple. This is what I call Torah art journaling. We usually base it on the Hayom Yom in our mastermind. Some of you may recognize this. The Passionistas may recognize this from before. So this one I call the bounce back trampoline, or your resilience safety net. Okay, so you don't have to be an artist to do this. You could do very simple line drawings, stick figures. But the advantage of art journaling is that it gives us access to not our creative brain, not just our logical brain. And our creative brain, everything is possible, right? So you don't have to draw anything, if you don't want to, but it's helpful to do it. So um, the first step is to draw some stars and label these stars with elements of your biggest vision for yourself, your passion project in the world, right? These are your aspirations for yourself. Okay. You could just do one. That's probably all we have time for today. Just do one. You can revisit this, right? And then draw a trampoline. It could be just a simple circle and a stick figure on it that represents you, bouncing up and down, right? And that's what resilience is. We're bouncing up and down. We're trying to find that, or what Rabbi Wolf calls surfing the godly wave, right? We're trying to find our balance in this world. Okay, so under the trampoline, when you think of that aspirational goal in the star, that biggest version of yourself, most likely a negative voice pops up, at least one, right? That kind of knocks you down, right? Maybe that voice, it comes from the Yetzer Hara, whose job is to try to stop you from manifesting light, but who's really your secret best friend, your frenemy, right? Because the Itzhahara is pushing you to draw deeper in yourself, to draw out deeper inner strength, right? And new talents that maybe you didn't even know you had, right? That's part of the whole resilience package. We're reaching deeper inside. And so whatever that voice is, write it in a speech bubble underneath the trampoline. We want to bounce from that up to now draw another speech bubble that to reframe that negative voice. Okay, it might not be perfect the first time you reframe it, but you'll work on it so that when this voice arises, and it's usually a repetitive voice, you can flip it around into this new voice, this new positive cheerleading voice that brings you higher instead of lower, right? We learn in Hasidus that our thoughts and our speech actually create angels. That's how angels are created. And if we put negative thought angels out into the world, then they're busy creating a negative reality. We don't want to do that, right? So we don't necessarily have control over our initial thoughts, but we do have control over transforming them. And we want to send out positive thought angels to create the world that we want to see, that we want to live in. Okay, and then as a bonus, this is a tool that you can use, a resilience tool. Draw a net or even a square that represents a net and label it with elements of your personal safety net. What are the tools and strategies or activities or people or techniques that get you bouncing back? Because you have thousands of times in your life have bounced back, right? How did you do that before? If it worked before, it'll work again. But when we're down, it's hard to remember those things. So this tool, now you have a tool, we've like zipped through this one, but, and if you, I'm going to tell you what my offer is in a moment. When you sign up to that, if you want, you'll get copies of this because I'm going to send this out to the people who are on my mailing list. All right, so just to review the bounce back trampoline, what we're doing is we're keeping our highest vision in place, right? We're aligning with that vision. And then when negativity arrives, as it inevitably will, we're transforming that internally and sending that out as thought angels, positive thought angels that are going to help us recreate the world. All right.
Okay,
So
one sec.
can we take just a moment to do the 1 minute miracle meditation?
1 minute.
That's what it is. So I call this the 1 minute miracle meditation because in literally 1 minute, you can realign yourself to Hashem, bounce back from the darkness into the light. So just take a deep breath. And as you breathe in, visualize God breathing that breath of life into you right now, in this moment, because that is the reality. God is breathing this breath of life into you as a great gift, trusting you to fulfill your purpose in this world. And when you breathe out, release all your worries, the negativity, the pain, the fear, whatever it is, breathe out and let it go. And when you breathe in again, imagine that Hashem is blowing your soul into you, that a part of himself, an actual part of himself, he's breathing from his innermost place to your innermost place, your soul, that part of Hashem that is moving around in this world, in your world, through you, partnering with him to turn all the darkness in your world into light. Okay? You can do that meditation anywhere, anytime, and remember who you are and what you're in this world to do. And the main thing is, if I only gave you one tip, it would be this one. Resilience is usually some form of loss or expectation that's not being met. Is when we experience that, we need to rise from that. And the easiest way to do that is to be busy with your strength and be busy with your joy, right? That automatically puts you in a place where you can move forward.
100%. Wow. Thank you, Ray. Jam-packed, as always. Amazing.
All right. So my offer to you is I just
1 second. We'll
currently,
come back to it. We'll come back to the offer in a
oh,
sec.
okay. Okay.
Okay, do
Stop.
you want to take that down? Thank you. Amazing. I told you, promise. I told you that you would get a lot of good stuff here. So I want to go on and continue on crystals because that's what I do, right? But I want to start by saying, and I wrote about it and I talk about it. The fact that we went through a war, the Israeli people, we went through a war and we got up and we continued every day. We continued every night. And it was stark to me when on Friday night we had guests and we had the siren went off. Our neighbors from upstairs came into our safe room. We all went into the safe room. We said our Tehillim, and Friday night we had a light on in there. We all say Tehillim together. We had a routine. Okay, we get the message, we get a message, we can leave, we leave, everybody goes back to their Shabbos table. There wasn't even a conversation about it. That was it. It was done. It was behind us. And that was the resilience. And if these past 2 years has shown us anything, it's shown us the resilience of the people. And I want to go into what does it mean and where has it been. So I take an example of my daughter. My daughter has two little children. She's married, Baruch Hashem, with two little kids. Her husband is a combat soldier, so he was obviously called into the army. He's spent a lot of time in the army. I think he's been on 3 tours of duty, and he's been fighting. He fought in Lebanon, he fought in Gaza, all over. So you could imagine what she went through during those times, what we all went through, how we were all nervous, and certainly Ray knows because I shared it on our passion group. Often he's going in next week, or whatever it may be. And I said, what was it that got my daughter through? What were the things? And there were various things. First of all, I want to say in the beginning, she was less functional. We understand that. Okay. She wasn't working. She couldn't go to work. She said to her headmaster, I can't make it. I just can't do it. Can't do it. And we understood that. But slowly she got back into work. She went to work. She was in a nurturing environment. Okay. Her community brought her in food, brought her in cakes, tried to help her. Her friends were there. There was also the normalization. She wasn't the only one going through this. Now, we don't all have that luxury of having other people going through our same challenges as us. But sometimes when you do, it makes a very big difference. Her friend, whose husband was also in the army, came in and she stayed with her. They were together and they understood each other. They had a language between each other to support each other more than I could do. Yes, I could go there as much as I could go there and look after the kids and give her a break and da, da, da. But I'm trying to see that what helped her. Okay, so that normalization and the purpose. When we know that we're going through something, a challenge, and there's a higher purpose. So in Miriam's case, it was keeping her family together all the time, showing her kids how much she loved them. That was a purpose. Here, we're saving the nation of Israel. We're going to get those hostages out. All of those different things gave her strength and gave her resilience to cope with her situation. Okay. And then the show of appreciation as well for what you're doing and the way you're managing. Okay, that is also very important. So when they had a day out for the families of the soldiers, they gave the soldiers' kids and the families t-shirts, my father is, and whatever else. All those shows of appreciation made them feel much better. And the next time he went in, it was a little bit easier. Yes, it was challenging, of course, and who hasn't faced challenges? But we've got to look at the different ways to manage. So here I've given certain thoughts on how we do it. And of course, as Miriam talked about and as Ray talked about, we need emunah. I don't actually know how I personally, through my challenges that I've been through, would have ever gotten through without emunah. Knowing that Hashem is there with me and He doesn't give us a challenge that we can't manage. All the challenges that we go through are designed for us. And as we said before, and Neshama agreed to come to this world and to take on these challenges. Okay. I don't know whether we would agree, but our Neshama did, so we've got it. Now, I want to tell you, I had a particular client, and she and her spouse, her husband was suffering very badly from depression, really severe depression, and it was spilling over to her. Of course, she felt badly for him. He was living in a very difficult, dark world, but it was, and she had to look after him, but it was affecting her so deeply, her moods, we can understand, but she felt it was pulling her so far down, and her manner became very abrasive to other people, and her personal spirit was really dampened in a very strong way. And when we spoke, I discussed with her the black tourmaline stone. And she said, you know what, Gil, I'm going to try it. She took the black tourmaline stone and she said to me, hours later, she said to me, Gila, the difference is remarkable. So one thing that she says it to me, okay, and that I could actually see a difference, but the other part of it was I spoke to her daughter on the telephone, and her daughter had no idea that I had given her the stone. And her daughter said to me, there's been a remarkable difference since you met my mother. There's been a remarkable difference in her behavior. And it's not me, it's the stone. Okay, so there is quite some incredible things that these stones have to offer us. Now, if I'm lucky, I'm going to be able to find the right presentation to share with you. Okay, here we go. I want to show you, would you like to move? Okay, some resilient stones that I think would be very beneficial. Okay, now the optical calcite, which is sitting on my desk since I began this preparation for the presentation, and I keep on doing this with it, all this. And when you put the optical calcite above your head, about right just above, not even touching, above. So if you lie down and you put the optical calcite there, okay, it helps you to have a stronger connection to see, a stronger connection to Hashem, and it helps you to see things more clearly and understand the reality of your situation in a new way. Very often, a reframe of what we're going through can make a very big difference. Okay, one time, somebody was complaining to me that a certain person was coming to their house all the time, and it was really, they couldn't cope anymore. They couldn't manage with this person coming all the time. And I said to them, a complete reframe, I said, I think you need to understand that it's in your home, in your house, with your family, that this person is choosing to spend the Chagim and this person is feeling the best. So instead of them feeling that it's an intrusion, they felt honored, changed the entire outlook. So remember to reframe, okay? And this is also the optical calcite is helpful. The parcelite, I want to talk about the amethyst for a second. Okay, amethyst is just one of my go-tos all the time, but this is a great stone for our emunah, for our faith, to strengthen our faith. Okay, and sometimes we need to know that He's the boss. He has it. He's got it. He understands. Hashem knows what He's doing. We don't, and we don't understand. And there's when we say Ashrei, we say Lama. Yomru HaGoyim. Why? That's something that the Goyim say. We don't say why. We don't know. Well, it's not for us to ask. Hashem has decided that's what it is. There are times where we have this glimmer, this vision of understanding of why something happened. And that is a big bracha, and we have to say thank you. And very often we don't understand. And maybe when we're 120 and we go to the world that is all good, we will understand. For the moment, we don't necessarily, and that's okay. The parcelite stone over here, which is green amethyst, okay? And this gives us calm and tranquility, which Miriam was talking about before. We need calm and tranquility. That's such an important quality for us to really be able to say, okay, I can cope. I'm calming down, taking a few breaths, holding my parcel light, and managing to get there. And this stone will also help you to look deeper inside, okay, and reach the inner depths and find your strengths there. Okay, this is a stone that helps you find your inner core and self. So I felt it was just so important. And this, I have to tell you, after looking at the Herkimer diamond, which is not really a diamond, but it's called a Herkimer diamond. And you've got two pictures of this stone, and you can see it's got a point at either end. It's got a few points on it, and that typifies the Herkimer. Okay, now it helps us when you're planning something. The Herkimer is going to help it make it happen, and it has a way of working things out on their own. It's like a vessel that Hashem has given us and helps to work things out on their own. Okay? And it helps us to feel good about ourselves, which is always important because I'm a big believer the rose quartz is a stone that helps us feel good about ourselves, gives us self-confidence, and so too, the Herkimer is going to make us feel good about ourselves. And you need to have that confidence and understanding that you can do it. You can manage, okay? So that is really some very important points for these stones that I wanted to share with you. And the Larimer, okay, we actually just spoke about it now in class. Somebody showed us a bracelet she bought in the Dominican Republic. And notice the color of it. It is a really calming, beautiful color of the water. And that's a level of calm that it gives us. It's a frequency of tranquility. And it gives us inspiration. When we're going through a challenging situation, we need inspiration of how we're going to cope with this, manage, get through this, and draw on our inner strength, which is really important. That inner strength that we have to find that. And now I have a surprise. Okay, I don't know what that did. First of all, I want to show you that I mentioned the amethyst, emunah, okay? It enhances intuition, spirituality, and calming. This is a calendar that I prepared, okay? And you can see the months of the year and which stone relates to the month of the year according to Sefer HaYetzirah, okay? Avram Avinu wrote Sefer HaYetzirah. So we look at which tribe and then which stone. Elul, this month where we do this work, where Hashem is in the field waiting to hear our tefillot. So we want that it's spiritual enhancement. And what do we have? We've got which stone is it? It is the achlama, the amethyst. Okay, so I just wanted to share that with you. And the last stone I'm going to talk to you about is called the diamond. Everybody knows the diamond. Okay, and that is Shevet Zvulun. And this is a stone that gives us confidence and it inspires our creativity, our imagination and ingenuity, the protection, the self-love, all of those qualities that when we're in a situation we want to get out of, they're going to help us. All of those qualities we need. And I think what comes to me all the time is that self-love and that understanding that we are capable and we are able. Now, I mentioned to you before, right? One of the things that I mentioned to you was this woman chose that stone. Like she chose this black tourmaline, okay? People choose the stone that they're attracted to. They tell me, Gila, I like this stone. This is the black tourmaline. I like it. There's a reason they like it. And when we understand the reason, then we can help them and that's through that I'm able to do the assessment and healing for people. Okay, because people choose lots of stones, and through that we get to understand what is going on for them. Yeah, Gila Slonim, Avnei HaHoshen, and crystals. Okay, healing, assessment, counseling, so many things. Okay, and even creating calendars. So now, what I'd like to do is call on Ray and Miriam. Okay, first Miriam and then Ray to share with us the special offers that you're giving of this evening of this panel. Okay, Miriam.
All right, ladies, first up, thank you all for joining us. It was really, really nice. Thank you, Ray. Thank you, Gila. Usually what I do is I do sessions. I do they're usually 2 hours. I block off a 2 hour session, whether it's hypnotherapy, energy, or NLP. Usually they go all together because you want to work in your unconscious mind. You want to let your energetic body heal and you want to relax and you want to breathe. I usually charge $300 a session. So today and for this week only, anyone that signs up before Friday is getting a 50% off. You can text me, you can email me. My website is not done because I started working with a new organization, so I'm making a new website. So anyone that wants to reach out, Gila will post my information. And up to Friday, I think we set till Friday, you'll all have 50% off. Thank you very much, lovely ladies.
Amazing. Beautiful offer. Thank you very much, Miriam. Okay. Ray.
Okay. If you got anything out of our whirlwind run through to our art journaling, I have a free 5-day challenge you could join. I just put the link in the chat, and then also you'll receive a lot of free art and tips, and notices of events and new books, new journals, and coloring books coming up. Because my whole journey was through journaling, right? Through taking notes and calligraphy and art journaling as I took Torah classes, and it just has created a tremendous amount of personal and spiritual growth and resilience in me, and that's what I would love for you too. So you do it at your own pace in your own time, um, and enjoy. I do want to thank Gila and thank Miriam and thank you all for coming. And it's been really, really uplifting, and I learned a lot today. Thank you.
Thank you, Ray. I just want to say I am not artistic. I actually cannot draw. I can do a lot of things, but drawing is not one of my strong points. And I am part of Ray's mastermind group, and she gives us these art assignments every week, and I smile. But I can't tell you, I do my stick figures. It really has opened up a lot of different things for me and given me a tremendous number of insights. So even if you're not artistic, these things can work really, really well for you. Okay. Now, so one of the things that I do is I do these assessments, which I mentioned, and we understand what's going on for somebody physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, incredibly deep understanding of what's happening for somebody because the crystals are incredibly telling. People choose what they need and they all have a purpose. It's too mind-blowing actually. Okay, but when you experiment, you see how true and how authentic and how incredible they are. So what I'm offering you today is 75 shekel off on each of the assessments, whichever assessment, okay, you choose, you get a 75 shekel discount. The other thing I want to tell you is that I'm going to be running a webinar. Now, I think I need to explain this to you. I decided I wanted to do something special in this webinar. And what I want to do is offer you the choice of what the webinar is going to be about. So you may want to know more about the way that tribes are linked to the stones. You may want to know more about the Jewish aspect of the stones, or you may want to know more about how they can help women or whatever it is. So if you have stone questions, I want you to send them to me. Okay, and I am going to base the webinar on that. So on Sunday, please God, I'm running a free webinar in exactly 1 week at the same time. This is different station, different Zoom link, but at the same time, I will be having a webinar where you get to choose what the topic is. Okay, and there may be a bunch of topics, and I call it an adventure webinar because I don't know where we're going. It's really going to be adventure for me and for you and for everybody else. Okay, so I'd love to see you there. Thank you, Ray, and thank you, Miriam, for joining. And thank you, all of you lovely ladies, for being with us this evening, today, whatever it is for you. It's been a real treat, and have a wonderful rest of your evening, rest of your day. All the best.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank you.
you.